What a grand morning it is here in Long Beach. Welcome, everyone. My name is Janet McCarthy. I am the chair of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership Board, and I couldn't be more thrilled than to stand before you today at this momentous moment in history and the groundbreaking of this terrific PADNET for public access here in the city of Long Beach. It's exciting, and I thank you all for being here. I was given this lovely hat, and I think at some point we'll all put it on, but I'll just put it over here for a second, because you know what it does to the hair, so I won't go there. I'll just put it down here. I'd like to first say thank you to a number of folks that are here this morning who are helping and great support. First of all, the City of Long Beach, thank you, Robert Garcia, for being here and representing the city in your role as Vice Mayor. And although this person was not able to join us, I'd like to thank Curtis Tanney, the Director of Technology Services for the City of Long Beach. Also, special thanks to Stephen Scott, the Manager of Customer Service Bureau for the City of Long Beach, and to Dean Smits, the Video Communications Officer for the City of Long Beach. So thank you all. I mean, it doesn't happen without the city behind the support and the program here, so truly. Also, programs don't happen without financial support and without some great minds behind them. And special thanks goes out to the Long Beach Community Foundation. Jim Worsham is not able to be here today. I believe Julie Higgins, are you here? Julie's here representing the organization. Thank you so much for your support, truly. Also, the James L. Knight Foundation was a major funder here in getting this started, so I thank them as well. At this point, I'd like to introduce the esteemed members of the Long Beach CAP Board. If you would all please just stand. I won't call you out by name, but I'd like to thank you. It takes an enormous, great amount of work to run nonprofit organizations, and I thank all of you for your support of this organization and our work together as we continue to grow the efforts here. Also, the PADNET Advisory Committee members, if you'd please stand. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you for your work. You know, I would be remiss not to say that the staff here at this organization is just a group of people that I have become so fond of here. They are hardworking folks. They are energetic. They get behind the vision of the leader here, Derek Simpson, and I'd like to ask all the staff, I know some of you are standing, but put your arms up, because it doesn't happen without the day-to-day work. So thank you all. Thank you all. And it is my absolute pleasure at this point to introduce to you the visionary of this organization and for PADNET, and his name is Derek Simpson.
Following protocol, I have my hat too. Now Dean Smits always talks football, and I haven't worn a helmet since Bear Bryant made me wear one at the University of Alabama. So I'm going to take this off right away. I have flashbacks. Yes. It is indeed an honor to be here, especially to see this turnout that's here from the community, because this has been indeed a community effort, and we're really proud as Long Beach Community Action Partnership to be the nonprofit agency that the city has entrusted with such an important opportunity in our community. I was quoted as saying that oftentimes in the media regionally, when you hear about Long Beach, you don't hear about the good things. You hear about murder and mayhem and all the bad things. But this is our opportunity to share what's good about Long Beach. This is our opportunity for any citizen, whether it's a cooking show that some prominent people have said, wow, I'd love to have a cooking show, to gardening or whatever it is that you're passionate about. Now we have that opportunity, unlike any time in the history of our city, I'd like to believe, to have a space, to have equipment, to have support, to have training. Anything that you need to make it happen can happen as it relates to digital media arts as a result of PADNET, and it's taken the people in this room and many outside of this room to make that a reality. As we were going through a lot of the recognition, I'd also like to recognize our partners very closely here, our landlords, and that's Major Rudy Hedren here from Salvation Army, because they've been very supportive. But some may not know what we do. I mean, Long Beach Community Action Partnership, really briefly, is the community action agency for the city of Long Beach. I know Vice Mayor Garcia was saying how large this building is, and in our conference room up front and in rooms like that throughout the eastern edge of Los Angeles County, since September of 2010, we've paid almost 41,000 utility bills for citizens throughout eastern LA County for over $12 million. That's a significant accomplishment for people who need us most. So Beyond PADNET is an agency that's wrapped its arm around this community. We, in fact, are a nonprofit agency that also takes our community service block grant funds and funds other nonprofits in Long Beach who do things what we can't do better than us, because we feel like it's in the best interest of our community to get the best possible service. And if as an agency we can't provide that, we want to empower those that can, because it's all about our citizens receiving the best. So we have 6 partners, of which not Salvation Army, but Goodwill is one of them, and 5 others as well. So in addition to our community advocacy and family services and energy programs, we also have an excellent teen program. And really it was that teen program, the Leadership Academy Mentoring Program, that was the impetus to us even venturing into this. When I went to my board of directors and says, you know, they've got this public access opportunity and I think we should go for it, it wasn't because we just randomly went from serving people in one way to dynamically shifting to media. It was because we have television production here, video production, that we teach our teens. We teach them photography. As you walk out of this room, you'll see all sorts of photography in the hallway. That was done by teens who knew nothing about photography when they came here, and now they know Photoshop, they know basic composition. We have a silk screening business where teens are learning graphically how to express themselves and create t-shirts, and the bags that you have were created in our basement as well. Through some of our content experts. So we also have, in addition to that, music production. So once the studio is in place, in what will be the control room there will be a revised recording studio. Right now we have one of the best recording studios in the city. All of this is not just to talk about digital media, it's to teach our teens that they can take their inherent talents and turn those into possible career pathways, that they can express themselves in ways that will pay a livable wage, and that's important. So we're really proud of that opportunity, and we're really proud of the people that have helped us to get it to here. The people who really helped this actual dream come true, such as the artist rendition and this one over here that shows other parts of it, are twofold. One is Karen Nixon, our architect, who's here, and she's done a great job. And Bremco construction company, who's done a great job of building everything out. Where you're sitting basically here will be that studio, and if you can envision behind me will be a green screen, and anything you want to do animated, you'll be able to stand here and do that. And it's going to be an exciting place. It's going to be the place to make it happen. So if any of you have any sort of idea in this room, everyone in here is a potential producer. If you're a citizen of Long Beach, you are indeed a potential producer. And so what's the excuse? You know, what's the excuse? Let's get involved. Let's make it happen. But speaking of making it happen, the person that I've kind of grown up professionally with in certain ways that's made it happen in our city and is now considered one of the second leaders, right behind the mayor, is our vice mayor, Dr. Robert Garcia. We worked at Long Beach City College briefly together right before I left the college as a consultant to come here, and it's really been cool to see how he's emerged as one of the top leaders in the region, not just in this city, and I'm really proud to ask him to come up and say a few words. So help me welcome Vice Mayor Robert Garcia.
One thing Derek always is a sweetheart. You are such a sweetheart. But thank you, Derek. And I know we had our introductions. I also saw Congresswoman Laura Richardson just walk in, so thank you for being here as well. But I wanted to say a few things. First of all, Derek, you are an incredible force in Long Beach. And I know that I had a conversation with the mayor yesterday. We were talking about the opening today. And a lot of what we see here today and this whole process has been through your just sheer willpower. I mean, you have done an incredible job. I remember when you were at the prior location, and we took a tour, and just looking through this building and the potential is really incredible. So let's give him a huge round of applause for his leadership. And and on the issue of public access and community television and what really this is about today, this is a very, very exciting day for the city. And the reality is that every great city has a strong community public access component to it. And the reality is that this is such an important part of what's next for Long Beach. And first of all, the facilities here are first class. We're going to be able to build, and you guys are building, what's going to be a world-class public access studio and center for growth, for learning, for bringing in youth, for bringing in producers, for bringing in the best talent to create the future of digital media. And I think that's something that that's very exciting. I also want to recognize, I think it's important, the partnership that has happened to get us to this point. We would not have gotten to where we are today had it not been not just the involvement of the city, but I see my friends here from our education community, from Cal State Long Beach, from Long Beach City College, from our school district. And this has been a partnership between our educational institutions as well as the city of Long Beach and obviously everyone that's in this room. So I want to give a round of applause to our university, our college, and all of our educational leaders and supporters. So please, let's give them a round of applause. And I also, in another life, I used to, when I was a young kid, I used to want to be a television journalist. That's what I always thought I wanted to be. I wanted to be a journalist. When I went to Cal State Long Beach, I was a journalism major. I was going to go into broadcast journalism. And things change along the way. But the idea of communicating in a visual platform or in a digital platform is something that's very close to my heart. And I believe in the power of it. The future is in digital media. The world is changing around us every day. And I want to leave us with this thought. This is a good day for the city. It is a proud day for all of us. But we also should think about what this means for the future of Long Beach. Because the reality is that for Long Beach to succeed in the new economy, in this new era of where we produce less manufacturing per se in our country, but where we produce more ideas and more services and more media, we have to be on the forefront of creating those things. And we have to be on the forefront of teaching our youth what communicating looks like in the new future and in this kind of new economy that we're in. And so our kids are at the forefront of doing incredible things. And the way we're communicating is changing rapidly before our eyes. And so it's exciting that when you think about what's happening in Long Beach, that this is going to be the hub and really the birthplace of a lot of what the future of Long Beach is going to look like from a media perspective. So I look forward to watching. I actually was one of those that watches public television. It's a shame we're having a national debate about cutting public access and public television. But I look forward to watching. I look forward to being a participant. And I want to thank you again on behalf of the city. And thank you, Derek. Antonio, where's Antonio? Antonio, you've been talking to me about public access and TV forever. So thank you for always being in my ear about it. And a great day for Long Beach. Go Long Beach. Thank you.
Thanks. As you look at the 9 council districts of Long Beach, we happen to be in the 7th council district. And in that district, we've had tremendous support. As a community action agency, we have to have what's called a tripartite board. And we're fortunate from the public sector perspective to have both our congressional office represented on our board and Councilman James Johnson's office represented by Mary Schmerich. But from the beginning, from going outside, buying vegetables, to supporting us with a bench, to coming by for our teens end of summer event, whatever it is, I couldn't be prouder than to say that I'm in the 7th Councilmanic District. No offense. When I'm in your district, I'll be just as proud. But sincerely, Councilman James Johnson has always been in our corner, and so I'd like to bring him up to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Derek, and what a pleasure to be here. When I get on the elevator every week to go up to the City Hall chambers, there's a poster And that poster says in a very serious tone, safety first, safety always. So in that spirit, I'm going to put on my helmet because I take it seriously. I need to set a good example. Let me just, I love coming to Community Action Partnership. Let me just give you an example of one of the many times I've come here in recent times. I got a call from Derek, and he said, you know what, we have some of our students going to Washington to meet President Obama and be part of an event, and they'd like to talk to you about, and I was hoping to say, joining on the trip, but instead he said, to preparing these young people to meet the President of the United States. And I came down, it was a great experience. And you know what, I wasn't surprised at all. I wasn't surprised at all that young people involved in the Community Action Partnership were going to meet the President of the United States. Because that's just an example of the wonderful things that happen here. And it wouldn't be possible with the help of many people here today, not just Derek, but the entire board, including Mary Ceramic, my deputy. I appreciate all you've done, and the Salvation Army. Salvation Army, it's a little known secret that they control a very large block of land right here where great things are happening. The farmers market, Community Action Partnership. We've got chickens laying eggs just next door that are available for sale, at least the eggs are. And I want to thank you for not just being a great church, but being a great community partner. We appreciate it. And what is this all about? Well, on the surface, it's about finally having community access television again, which is so important. We've heard from the residents. We've had many council meetings saying, how are we going to make this happen? But to me, it's more than that, because not only are we going to have community access television that's better than ever, we're going to do it in a new way. We're going to do it by empowering young people, giving them the tools to produce this and take it to the next level. Because that's what it's all about. Some of us are, even Dr. Garcia and I, we're getting older. I've got the gray hairs first somehow, but that's okay. But we need to train that next group to come up and invent things that we can't even imagine today. And every time I come here, I see young people, taking the digital arts to the next level, and that's what's going to happen. We're going to have these folks, these young folks, not just talking about digital media in a classroom or what they want to do when they grow up. They're going to be doing it now, and they're going to be producing content that all of us in Long Beach are going to enjoy. So I think that's so important. And finally, let us finish by saying, for so many years, it's been frustrating sometimes in Long Beach to be one of the biggest cities in California, the second biggest city in LA County, third biggest in Southern California after Los Angeles and San Diego, and to see us not on the news. You turn on the TV, and more often than not, it's about something happening in downtown LA or West Los Angeles, and that's not our community. And that's going to change. Because with this group, and with the young people who are going to make this happen, Long Beach is going to be on TV, and we're going to be represented like the great cosmopolitan area that we already know we are today. So thank you, everyone, for being here, for making this happen. I look forward to coming back and perhaps being on one of these great shows in the future. Thank you very much.
As some may know and others may not, that I was here for 15 years, and then about 1997 I moved back to Alabama, and for 4 years, which is my hometown, Mobile, Alabama. And I got a call saying, if you ever want to come back, now might be a good time, because I was CEO of a YMCA there, and he said the downtown YMCA of Long Beach just moved, and they're looking for an executive director. And one of the people on that board of directors that helped convince me that I should leave after 4 years of being back in Alabama and come back is someone who I've known for quite some time, and that's State Assembly member representing the 54th District, Bonnie Lowenthal. I consider her a friend and a colleague for many years. I'm really pleased to see her here with us today, so come on up, Bonnie.
Thank you so much, Derek, and I am not going to put the hard hat on because I want to hold on to this do as long as I can. Well, that was certainly the right decision. We were very lucky you came back from Alabama. You've been a tremendous asset to this community for so many years, and now we're at a point today where we are developing, you have developed the beginning of a program that will change history in Long Beach. I remember the years, some of you remember, when we lost public access in Long Beach. I remember some of the last shows down at the old Charter on Redondo. It was the last show. People were crying, literally crying, because the community was not going to have a voice anymore. And so for years, starting from when I was on the city council, perhaps the Congress member was there at that time as well, we really fought to bring public access back. Because truly what you are starting here is the essence of democracy. It truly is. That's why we're all here, because we want to give people, young people, all people, a voice to express themselves. You know, the city council meets weekly for the most part. That's not enough time for people to come forward and say what's on their mind. It really isn't. I mean, that's all the time they have. So this is going to be the beginning of an era where so many people will be able to express their interests, their voice, their anger, their challenges, and bring Long Beach into a new millennium where we will be noticed. You know, I remember years ago, Councilman Ray Grabinski, whom some of you remember, used to fight to have a TV station in Long Beach, and it never happened. And we were never able to pull it together, but guess what? Community Action Partnership has pulled it together, and this is just the beginning. So I would like to give you this certificate from the State Assembly, congratulating you on this very, very momentous occasion, the beginning of a new era of communication in Long Beach. And I do want to read the quote that I have down here because it is significant for you. The ultimate test of a man's conscience may be his willingness to sacrifice something today for future generations whose words of thanks will never be heard. And that's by Gaylord Nelson. And I want to thank the board and you, Derek, and all your staff for the fine work that you've done.
Well, thank you, Bonnie, so much. It's really cool to see faces in the room that younger, yes, I was younger, teens if you're in the room, I didn't always have gray hair. But to see people, you know, that I've grown with professionally is really cool to see where you're at different stages of life. One person that I happened to see on TV this morning was Bill Clinton on one side, was State Senator Alan Lowenthal. He can't be here, but he sent a representative from his office. I wonder why he's with Bill Clinton somewhere, right? Around. But that's, well, there she is. I'm looking back here at Nikki. Helene Ansel, come on up, please.
Good morning. This is a great day, and it's a pleasure to be here on behalf of Senator Lowenthal to congratulate all the people who have been involved in making PADNET a reality. And I also have a certificate to the Long Beach Community Action Partnership in celebration of the groundbreaking of the Long Beach Public Access Digital Network, and with appreciation for your efforts in providing access, not only access, but also training to residents to produce shows that will inform and entertain and highlight the cultures and neighborhoods that really define the city of Long Beach. And we all have a story to tell. Now we have a place to share it, and in high definition.
Speaking of those stories to tell, behind the two cameras, the young ladies that you see diligently working are on our team, and that's Katie, raise your hand on this side, and Bobby right here. And And I mentioned them because they are sharp at what they do, not only behind the camera, but also in helping us really make this a professional environment. And in the classes that you mentioned, that's really important from a council district and otherwise to know that as the college contemplates cutting back certain classes and as people are looking to improve their skills to get it back into the workplace, we hope that this is that stop between the college and that one skill set that might improve a resume to help someone get to the next level. And we have a representative here also from USC, I think an intern, that's doing a photojournalism project. And we've talked to the journalism department at the colleges to say we want this to be that place where people can come as interns and really hone their skills. One of the coolest experiences of my time here was about 2 years ago when we had an Action That Matters Most event, and we were trying to get a crowd like this. We weren't quite as successful then as we are today, but one person that did come was County Supervisor Don Kanabe, and we were told he was just going to make a flash appearance. He was going to come, and then he had to leave. But little did he know, we had two of the Commodores band members on the stage, and we had a backup singer from Luther Vandross's band who was singing, and he was sitting there and he started patting his feet. And now when he sees me and his wife is with him, he says, "You know that guy, honey? That's the guy where all that good music was, where we stayed for hours." And I say that because someone was asking about our studio, but our whisper room where you'll be able to do audio recording is a little bit delayed because the guy who's helping us, Dimitri, unfortunately is putting Seal's studio in, so we gotta wait a minute. So I'm like, Seal, Derek, come on, man. But I'd like to ask Nick to come up from County Supervisor Don Kanabe's office to just say a few words. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you. I'm really humbled to be in such astute company with so many leaders of Long Beach here on this tremendous day. I'm really proud to represent the supervisor in this. He's very proud to be a strong supporter of Long Beach CAP. Y'all know what a heavy hitter Derek is, but I had no idea because I just got some news this morning that he struck a deal with Time Warner, so we'll be putting the Lakers on the PADNET. That was a joke, okay? That was a joke. I'm hallucinating. Anyway, the County of Los Angeles has also an allocation of CSBG funds that we spend annually, and I don't think that they do a lot of great work, but I don't think what they do in terms of ingenuity and creativity even comes close to what Long Beach CAP does on a regular basis. So I did want to acknowledge that, and the supervisor couldn't be here this morning, but he sends his warmest regards, and thank you and congratulations.
Last but certainly not least on our agenda, special guest here is someone else that I consider a friend, especially when I get a phone call on my cell phone. Derek, why are you having a meeting when I'm having a meeting? Like, wait a minute, is this really the congresswoman calling my cell phone? But someone that I've also grown up with in terms of professionally speaking, that I consider a friend. It was mentioned earlier that some of our teens had the opportunity as guests of the Grammy Museum to go to the White House. It was actually for First Lady Michelle Obama's music education initiative. If you happen to see the president on TV singing the blues, other than what he's doing right now maybe, it was a big event, right, where he had all sorts of people there, all sorts of industry leaders, and he was singing with them. Well, that day, 11 of our young men had the opportunity to go into the White House, to sit down, to interact with the First Lady, and to really have that experience of a lifetime. And since they were there, we said, wow, if they, as a result of the help of the California Endowment, are learning about advocacy and learning about policy change and how they can take control of their community and take it to the next level, what better place than the halls of Congress? And so we called our Congresswoman, Laura Richardson, and she made sure that those young men were able to literally walk the halls of Congress, sit in the office, talk to people in Congress, talk about what teen issues are, and it was the coolest experience. And some of you may have seen a picture of all of us standing in front of the Capitol, and that's an experience of a lifetime. So it's people like the Congresswoman who's just been by our side the whole way through this, as an agency and now as PADNET, that makes this really special, and I'd like to ask her to come up, please. Congresswoman Laura Richardson.
Well, for sense of full disclosure, you left out the rest of that story, that we both had our meetings and it was fine, and I was teasing. So, you know, the way they write about me here, I got to make sure that the full story is accurately reported. That's an experience that I've learned with television and with reporting. But let me first of all say to Derek and the entire board here that I work with a lot on many different issues. I see Creasy and others who are here in the audience. The reason why many of us are called upon to work on many things, but the reason why we never hesitate to come to the Community Action Partnership is because of the quality work and the substantive results that you have. And you know, when you're doing the right thing, it's always easy to build upon what's being done, and it's being done correctly. And I've never known you to come with anything that you hadn't done your due diligence, that you haven't figured out how to make sure that it works. And we're just blessed to be able to get the phone call from you to say, hey, will you come join us, and to be supportive of this. So for you, Derek, and the entire board, I just want to say how grateful we are for all the work that you're doing, and keep it up. So that's my first message. The second thing, to Jim Warsham of the Long Beach Community Foundation, in addition to the Action Partnership, at a time when resources are so scarce, and we're choosing between whether we have 40 children in a classroom versus 28, or whether we're deciding whether people are going to have Social Security that they've already paid for. At these very tough times, to be able to prioritize resources and to understand that this is also an equal priority is something that many times on the local level we're not able to do, or the state or federal level. So, you know, we got quite a lot of publicity about public access television, thanks to Mitt Romney and him wanting to cut Big Bird's head off. In fact, I was almost tempted to bring in a Big Bird model to say, you know, public access lives on. But to be able to understand the role that public access has in, I believe, as the Assemblywoman said, you know, being able to tell all of the story is what's vital. And sometimes in the short, what we're finding in 24-hour, you know, cable networks that are on every station, it's the 30 seconds, the 60 seconds, the 90 seconds that aren't always effectively conveying all of the accurate information that needs to be done. And I must say, talking here, the sound is excellent. This is a good sign of where we're going to come. The last thing I want to say is this. I see some staff that I've worked with over the years with charter and with public access with the city, and I'm glad to see all of you here a part of the team, because what's going to make this successful is the partnerships and the lessons learned. And so for those of you, and you know who you are, I see 4 of them right here, I'm so glad to see you here helping and making sure that we're going to work together and make sure that this is a success. So you're going to get your certificate from me when we open and when we have our interview, and we'll put it right on the wall. But to the City of Long Beach, I applaud your efforts of supporting and making sure not only that this program, but all of what the Community Action Partnership does can continue. Count me in, and I will continue to support with funding as well. Thanks.
Thank you, Congresswoman, and thanks to everyone who's been up here was asked because of special relationships that we have with you and our community. And as a community action agency, we couldn't do it without you. The next step for us is you hear about the what's called Obamacare and health care, and I was just in a meeting at the state to talk about how do we bring that down to our citizens, because it's going to happen regardless of what happens on the federal level at the state level. So we have to be ready for that. So stay tuned for Long Beach Community Action Partnership as we vie to be what's called a navigator in the state of California to help provide access to citizens for that particular resource in our community. Lots of things going on. You've heard about partnerships, you've heard about training opportunities. Just like this facility will be here in our council districts strategically placed around our community, we also hope to have satellite locations. So as locations are identified where we can place a camera or green screen or an editing suite or whatever the case may be to allow citizens access on the east side of Long Beach or in North Long Beach or down in the first councilmatic district, to make sure that there's no excuse for people to be able to not only access the equipment, but to also upload their video directly here. They don't even have to travel here. They can digitally do that. So we're really trying to make this, eliminate any barrier that we can. And just like I'm getting many accolades up here, it couldn't happen without a strong team. Someone's name who hasn't been mentioned nearly often enough is Lisa Mastramico, who is the director of PADNET. Raise your hand, Lisa. And you heard the advisory board introduced, and that's the group of citizens in our community and representatives of the city that make sure that everything that's done on public access is given a fair opportunity, meaning that it's also not only a fair opportunity to be shown, but if they have a grievance, they have a body to go to other than our board of directors for that to be heard, to set rules and regulations and guidelines. And we want a mixture of those who've been involved in the past, such as Liza, with people who are new coming on board, so that everyone who has their programming on is respected and acknowledged. With that said, we've come to the point of our program where we tear up something, right, or build something. And for that, I'd like to ask the president of Brimco Construction, William Lewis, to come up. And we're going to ask that all of the electeds that want to wear a hard hat join Mr. Lewis as we have our groundbreaking, as it were, here on the wall, because we have to have conduits put through the wall, and we wanted to have something. So rather than, we're not going to core the floor, Major, don't worry. We're going to be okay. But we will have something happening for a photo op. Now, in the front lobby, I'm sorry, not front lobby, in the front room, for those of you who RSVP'd to say that you can stay, we have a farm-to-table lunch. So what you see up there, just like was mentioned, are eggs that maybe were created in our 20 or more hens. Every day I go out there, I see more critters. I saw a goose the other day, and things keep growing. Though somebody decided we didn't need our rooster and took it. So now we're missing one. But not that we're supposed to have a rooster. But suffice to say, please, if you can stay for lunch, do so up front, because Kelly Johnson, who's our master gardener and an incredible person in terms of, if you see that garden out there, it's just become really a source of pride for the 7th District, if I might say, and for this corner. People know us now by the garden as much as they do by our facility. Thanks to my board of directors, to Janet, to my other board members that are here. Thanks to my management team. I think as a nonprofit director, when I took this agency over, we were 24 staff, and we were $1.3 million 6 years ago. Today, we're looking at a budget going into the new year of $9 million. We crossed the 100 staff mark in September, and we have another $8 million that we use as pass-through to pay utility bills. So that didn't, thank you. That progress happened as a result of a great team, and so I'm really proud of the Long Beach Community Action Partnership management team who's among us. So, Mr. Lewis, tell us what we do next, and for those of you, I know the Congresswoman has to run and others have schedules, so let's make that happen as quickly as possible with our photographers. Mr. Lewis.
Okay. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't put my hat on. And the folks back in the office wanted to clean my hat. I said that probably wouldn't be appropriate either. I got to look like a contractor. The room that you're sitting in is going to be the studio, as they indicated eventually, and the room in the back there will be the control room. So what we're going to do, and hopefully you're not going to be disappointed that we're not going to break any ground, but we are going to break the wall over here, and what that's going to be for is bringing in the controls and so forth from the other room into this room, and then do the lighting and all those kinds of things. So if you'd like to join us in the back over here, we'll see if we can make that happen and not get anybody hurt. It should just go right on through there.
And if it doesn't?
All right.